recording of the last class. I'm not sure any of us even went to that link to view the video and all of that. So that's not good enough. The essence of this class is to do the practical, to practicalize whatsoever we're going to be learning. That's the goal of this class. So please, let's do our best to make sure that we do all that is required of us. So today I'll just continue from where we stopped the last class. We talked about data entry. We talked about data entry and the method of entering a data, the traditional method, and the advanced method, or you say the modern method, which involve the use of a form. Yes, I told you that it involved the use of a form. You all saw this kind of a form like this, that you can use to input data. When you click on new to give you for new record, if I say number five, serial number five, okay, let me go back to that record. Serial number five, product, beans per kg, can say 5,000 naira per kg quantity. So I'm just trying to do a recap so that I'm sure that we all state Kogi, salesperson John. So I explained to us that it's used to enter data. You can see that the moment you enter your data in that form, it populates the spreadsheet. So it populates the spreadsheet. So I thought it was the use of form. So the next thing I said I was going to talk about today is data validation. So I said data validation because your form will not uh, be effective the way it ought to be if you do not put some restriction on it. And that is the goal of using a form. If not, you will still be having the same result as just using the traditional method. The form is just to create restrictions so that people won't enter you know wrong inputs into that data set. So when you look at your data set, study the data set. For instance, this column that is serial number, we want to be sure that I can put a restriction that it should only be numbers. Nothing like alphabet should come in. It should only be numbers, and I can get a restriction to say, okay, from number one, I can do maybe number one to 5,000. Anything aside from that should come out as error. Anything aside from that should be an error. So that is where data validation comes in. It helps to validate the data in a record to make sure that there is no error, to make sure that whosoever is going to enter any data again into that data set, the person does not input a wrong, you know, a wrong value. That's it. So to go to your data validation, or let me just even explain from the note first, then we'll do some practical. Okay, some of the data validation examples are as follows. The numeric or text value should be entered in a particular cell, which means the place where I want numbers to be. I don't want anybody to come and enter text there. Imagine in serial number, someone go and enter A, B, C, D. That's inputting a value in a wrong place. So I don't want that to happen. Imagine the place where we have price per kg, where you are just supposed to write 2,000 um 15 or 6,000. Someone there is coming to write 2,000 kg. Person is putting kg beside the 2,000. So the moment the person puts 2,000 kg beside the 2,000, that is a wrong input, because at that point Excel will identify that cell as will no longer identify it as a number again, because it's now alphanumeric. It's now letter and number. You understand? So that is inconsistency. So imagine a place where you are supposed to write state, deliver state, Kaduna, Gombe. You now write Lagos 1, Lagos 2. That is a wrong input. Or you write numbers where you ought to have text or alphabet. So you don't want that to happen. So data entries are limited to a specific length. Imagine this text now. The text I have here, Kaduna, I can say it must not be more than the text that are permitted in this column should not be more than 20. So which means if I'm going to come and write a state that is like, let me say, a state that is very long with a very long text, it will just tell me error, 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 which means I'm not permitted to write anything more than 20 text. So that is what data validation does. You set restriction, or imagine in a place where you want to write phone numbers and you don't want the person entering the data to enter a wrong number. There are some things you can put in place. One of it is that the number must not exceed 11. Just like every phone number is in between 0 to 11. So a number must not exceed 11. The moment it exceed 11, I must be able to control it in such a way that the person entering the data will know that you have entered error. Are we getting it? So that's the purpose of this data entry. You say, okay, it's finding and showing incorrect entries when entered. The data can be validated based on another cell. So just depending on how you begin to master it, So the first thing to do to locate data validation, please, apologies, I'm going to my Excel. The first thing to do to locate the data validation on your Excel is that first click on the cell you want to work on. Let's assume we're working on this. Let me see one or two things. Mm, okay, so the cell you want to work on, we can select everything here for this serial number. Let's just select everything in serial number here. Then we can come down to data validation. To locate data validation, when you go to your tab, your ribbon, you will see data tab. There is data tab. After home, new tab, insert, page layout, formulas, you will see data tab. That is where data validation is. Click on data tab. So in this data tab now, you see some of the options here. Get and transform data, query and connection, data types, sort and filter, data tool. So your data validation is in the area of the data tools. So when you see data tools now, you will see all kinds of functions there. If you want to convert text into a column, you will see it there. If you want to flash fill, you see. If you want to remove duplicates, you do. But data validation is the one below. You can see now, when you hover around it, you will see data validation. So click on it, just click on it. So please pay attention at this point. This is a very critical part to pay attention with. So please pay attention here. Please, if you are still seeing my screen, please just confirm. I need to be sure that we are not lost. Can someone just confirm that you can see my screen? Oh, I need someone to confirm that you can still hear me and you can see my screen. Okay, that's Elizabeth thumbs up. Okay, only Elizabeth can hear me. Okay, okay. That means every other person can't hear me except Elizabeth. Bro Taiwo, can you hear me? Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. I need that confirmation so I don't move ahead of us. So now we have located the place where we have data validation. We've located it right now and we've selected the data validation. So we now see the things he brought out. The first thing is the settings, where you can set your restriction. That is the settings. The second place is input message, which means you can put a message in that column in such a way that in that column, when people come there to write something, that message will just show them what they should do. You understand? It shows them what they are supposed to do in this place. So error alert, which is the last one, it will tell them once they do something wrong, the error alert will tell them you are not doing the right thing. This is what the error message, this is what you ought to do. Are we getting it now? So if I come to these settings, I will select the first thing is if I want to under the allow, can you see now it's telling me validation criteria. So you want to set the criteria. What do you want to allow in this place? Are we following now? What do we want to allow? So I will click this side, I'll click, then I will see all kind of things. Is it any value I want to allow? If I put any value, it means it can be number, it can be alphabet, it can be decimal, it can be date, it can be anything, any value. So but if I say no, I want numbers, whole numbers, that I only want number to appear in this place, I will select whole number, click on it. Once I do that, then it will now give me the next option, data, telling me is it between something and something or not between, or is it equal to, is it, you will see all kind of criteria that you can set. But let me use between. I will now say the minimum of one. I can say minimum of one and maximum of, let me say maximum of 10 now. So which means in this place you will not be permitted to write any serial number above 10. You're only permitted from 1 to 10. Even you cannot write 0 sef, because we didn't start from 0. Only if I decide to say my serial number is starting from 0. Please pay attention. This is the reason why I didn't teach you this the last time, because I don't want to bombard our head with what we've learned. So this data validation now, that's why I decided to take it separately so that we can comprehend it. All right, so I've set the criteria for that column. Now I'll come to input message. So this input message here, I can say serial number. That's the title. So I can now say the input message that I want to tell the person that is entering data in that place, that enter only serial number from 1 to 10. Now I've given the person instruction, so the person will just see this instruction when they come to that place. Are we following now? Person will see when they come to that place. Then I will do error alert. Now this error alert now, the first thing is I think I prefer warning. Let me say warning. The title, I will say wrong input. You have imputed a value that is not allowed. As you can write anything that you want to write. Oh, me, I'm just writing based on my own understanding. Please, is sister in this class? If she's here, can she please signify? Sister please, I want to hear your voice. Sister are you there? Just say something. Oh, just say, let me know that you are still in this class. Is anyone there? Please, let's look at the list because I'm not looking at that screen. Can someone confirm me sister is on that, is on this? Is sister on this call? She's not on this call. Elizabeth, please let me call her. All right, bro Taiwo, you hand this up. You can speak. Yes, sir. The criteria, the validation. Mm-hmm. All right, thank you. The cell I selected is the serial number cell. I selected everything before I started the journey. As you can even see it on my screen that it is highlighted. I selected one that number where we have 1 to 5. Selected it. You understand? So before I went to that data validation and start setting the criteria I want. So I've set the validation criteria from minimum of 1 to 10. So I said between 1 to 10. So between 1 to 10. Okay. Uh, Minimum one. Let me put my minimum at 0 and maximum 11. Input message. That is, this message is for the person you are giving. This message will pop out for the person who want to enter any data there, to pop out to the person. Are we getting it now? To pop out to the person that this place is for serial number. In case some people see SN, they don't understand the meaning of SN. So it has there that serial number. Input message, enter only serial number from 1 to 10. Error alert. I've selected the style of error alert I want. You first select the style. I want my own to be warning. The icon of warning will show. If I say stop, the icon of stop will show. But I prefer warning. Warning. So the title of my error alert is wrong input. So the error message that will pop up if the person input the wrong thing will be you have inputted a value that is not allowed in this cell. I can then say, please try again. So what I'm teaching you guys is actually advanced, but it is very helpful. Very helpful. Very helpful. So you can see that the moment we are done, I click OK. You can see that the first thing that came out is that serial number. Enter only serial number from 1 to 10. You can see that now. Are we in this class at all? So if I have people, do we have people who are trying this thing? Let me be sure. It's very important to know that we are trying it. No problem, no problem. Please, anybody that want to share their screen can share. Can share in case you're having issues. You can share, or you want us to see that you are making progress. You can share. Is anyone trying it and you want to share your screen? Elizabeth can share her screen. Oh, sister, you are just back. Apology. I just discovered that I was calling your name and you were not responding. So I told Elizabeth to call you. So we are in data validation. You might have to look at the video, please. I want please, please. The moment you see your network is disconnected, you can message us so that we can pause and get back. Is any Elizabeth is out of this call also? I'm giving us time to practice what we have learned. So in case we have people that are doing it, you know, following the steps. So, bro Michael, I don't know how are you finding it. Okay, sister, I know wants to say something. All right, I don't mind. Let me go back again. So that data validation, I said I want to set a validation criteria for this serial number. Like I explained that data validation is used to create a restriction. It's used to create a restriction for the data that is imputed in a particular column, which means you don't want people to write wrong things. Imagine in a place where they are supposed to write numbers, you don't want them to write anything that is alphabet, or you don't want them to write alphanumeric, whatsoever. Imagine in a place where we have serial number now, someone is coming there to write ABC. So you want the person to know instantly when they enter a wrong input that they have entered something wrong. You want them to know instantly. So that is the purpose of data validation. So which means you have to set a validation criteria. Like the word validation means validate if something is correct or not. Are we following? So I want to set a validation criteria for this serial number. That's what I'm doing. I highlighted the cell first. After highlighting, you know, that cell from 1 to 5, serial number 1 to 5, I will go to data validation. Data validation is on our data tab. You see data tab in this your ribbon. After home, you have new tab, you have insert, page layout, formulas. Then the next thing is data tab. Click on data tab. After clicking on data tab, you will see some other functions. You will look for data tools. So data tools is in this area. So in data tools, you will see data validation is the last under. Select it, just click on it. So when you click on it, the first thing that will come is settings. The first thing that will come is settings. So that settings is a place where you set the criteria. You understand? It is in that setting you set the criteria. So on a normal day, you will see allow. This allow means select what you want to allow in this column. What do you want to allow? So I have already selected whole number. But if I select any value will means they can enter anything there. Someone can even enter alphabet, someone can enter percentage, someone can enter number, someone can enter decimal, someone can enter date if you select any value. But if you select whole number, it means they are only permitted to enter number. If you write alphabet, it will not allow you. I can see someone raising her hand. Eno, please, you can speak up. Sister Eno, please speak. Your hand is up. Speak, your servant hear it. Okay, I'm already doing what you want. All right. All right. Yes. You said I'm doing what you want, right? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I saw the hand, that's why. So please, anytime you raise up your hand and I didn't talk, please, you can speak. Like the Bible says, speak your servant hear it. I'm hearing, so please. Okay. The next, so I've selected whole number as the criteria that I want to allow here. So it will not permit anything other than whole number. So I selected it. So the next thing is what data. In this section now, I will now select a criteria also that is it between, you want between this and this, or not between this and this, or is it equal to, which means if I use equal to, it means I am specific here. If I use equal to, it will only give me permission to enter one thing. If I say equals to 10, it means that it will only permit 10 in that place. Nothing, if I enter 9, error. If I enter 7, error. If I enter alphabet, error. It will only permit that specific whole number. Now, this data is asking for a specific data, a specific range, a specific range. Is it, if I use between will be then, is it from this to this? Not between, we say not from year to year, but anything aside from that. So I'm doing between. So the between now give me the option of minimum and maximum, which means the minimum of 0, maximum of 11. That is, I want it to be in between 0 and 11. Anything that we enter here must be between 0 and 11. Please, if you can hear me, can you just say yes we can? Yes we can. Someone can just say yes we can. All right, thank you. So the next side, the next one after the settings is the input message. In that input message, that is where you describe what that cell is all about to whosoever is coming to enter a data there. You just describe it. So I wrote here that the title of this cell is serial number. In case some people don't know what SN, you can see the title of that cell we're working on, we wrote SN. Some, someone who is not so intelligent might not know what SN means. You know, they might not know what SN mean and they might think, what does that mean? So that way, I have helped the person by saying this is serial number. So input message will now mean what I want the person to write. So I wrote here that enter only serial number from, let me say from 0 to 11, because that is what we set. We set from 0 to 11. So I've done that. The next thing will be error alert. The error alert will be that what do I want to tell the person if the person has input a wrong message. So I can select the style of my error alert. You can either select stop, this sign will come up, or you select warning, this sign will come up, or you select information. But I decide to select warning. So this sign will come up when the person writes something wrong. Then I put the title as wrong input. So the error message will be what I want to tell the person if the person input a wrong information. So the error message just says you have inputted a value that is not allowed in this cell. Please try again. I'm the one who wrote this down, you know, that you have inputted a value that is not allowed in this cell. Please try again. Full stop. Then I click OK. So that will be what I will have here. Are we following now? So let's try as you can see that the moment I click on any of the cell under serial number, that information is coming. The input information is coming up, telling the person that serial number has tried to enter only serial number from 0 to 11. You can see if I click it, it's giving the person an information of what to write. But if I come to any of the set that we have not done a validation on, it won't give us any input information. You can see. But when we came here, we can see an input information because we have set a validation to it. So the person there can mute, please. Please mute your mic is on mute. Please mute. So apologies for that. So now let us test it out to see if it work. Let's bring our form back. Bring your form back. So I want to do a new input. Now let me try to enter 17. Or let me just enter like that. So we can see that immediately I enter that 17. You can see what came out. Can we see my screen, please? Please, can we see my screen? You can see that a warning alert pop up, right? So the warning alert said what I have said. It said you have imputed a value that is not allowed in this cell. Please try again. What I wrote as my warning alert, that is what came out. Are we seeing that now? Because I have entered 17. 17 is not between the range that we set. We set from 0 to 11. Do we get it now? Are we there? Are we getting it? I can't hear anybody. Okay. So it will now ask, do you want to continue? This place, I will just say no. Already it has alerted the person. So, but if I enter 6, if I enter 6 now, let's see what will happen. If I click enter, let's see. 6 was correct. There is no error alert. Please, are we getting this now? All right. So, all right. So, let us set the validation for product. It seems my own battery is now kind of low, but I would see if I can use another system. So, let us set the validation for product. Because what I will ask you to do as an assignment is that you are going to set validation for quantity sold and deliver state and salesperson. You will do that yourself, but I will just set for product and price packaging. So what you will do in that assignment is that you will screenshot your data validation, the settings, the input message, the error alert. You will screenshot those three. I will see it for everything. So let us set validation for this product. So I will come here, select all the cell in product that we have in this data set, select everything. So I'll select everything. After selecting everything, I will come to data. So from data here, I will come and select data validation. You can see it here. Just click on it. So it will give me the first thing. The first thing you do is your settings, validation criteria. So looking at this uh, column, what kind of criteria, what kind of data should be allowed in this place? Someone can just tell us what kind of data should be allowed there under our product. What kind of data should be allowed? Did anybody else want to try? Anybody else? I supposed to give people free lunch, but people have not paid me. I supposed to say the person who answer correctly give the person free lunch. So is anybody going to try? What kind of data should be allowed? You said what? I didn't hear that, sir. Yeah, on this product list, what kind of data should we allow? Test length, correct. Thank you very much. That's very correct. So the reason is because it is only test. I don't want someone to come and enter number here. Test. Anything, fish, potato, whatsoever, it must be test. I don't want to see number. So like, let me refer to what Mr. Michael said. If I select custom, custom can be that I will now begin to define it myself. That custom means you will customize it to what you want that is not in this uh, option that you are giving. Are you getting it now? So, but the moment I select test, because this what I want here is just test. So the next thing it's going to ask me is between, but because it is test length, I will now set a length to the test. You understand? Every test has a length too. Sure, you know. Like this fish that we have here, what is the length of this fish? 4. One FISH. That's 4. That's the length. What is the length of yam here? YAM. That's 3. What is the length of this test turkey? Turkey. That's 6. So you set the length of the test. Say minimum of 1, maximum of, I can say, uh let me say 15. So I don't know if any product has a name more than 15, but I can decide to, you have to be creative around it. But the whole essence of this is that I'm making us understand that you can set a criteria based on what you think you want. Are we following? So we can set the criteria. So the next thing is that you go to the input message. What do you want to tell the person this place is all about? I can say the title here is product name, right? So what do I want to tell the person to input? Input the name of the product sold out. Please apologies, my battery is low. Input the name of the product sold. That's what I want the person to do. So I will come to error alert. So error alert, let me do warning again. I will say wrong input. So the error message I want the person is that to say you have inputted a wrong value. Be sure or confirm if your entry is test or not. So just write it depending on the kind of grammar you can write, and after you are done, click OK, right? So we can see that it pop up, that stuff came up, the input information came up, say product name, input the name of the product sold. Can we see that now? So if I come here and bring my form, let me bring my form here. Let me come to number 6. You can scroll down clicking on this. But I want to write the product name. Let's assume that I'm going to write a product, or even don't let me use the form now. You can use the form like I taught you, use the form. But let's say I want to even just write the product name here and say, I want to write something wrong. I want to write a name that is more than 15. Let's say pool accessories 23. Okay, this one just gave me test length. But let's see, I want to see something to say. Let me even set this column. If I put 6, because I did test length, let me come here and let me set this place here to say it is test. That's it again. Okay, I can see the warning alert came here. The warning alert is here. The number in this cell format as cell operated. But no, let me come here. Let me use the form. Let me use the form. Number 6. I want to write something more than 15. Just write Y. So that stuff will come up. You have inputted a wrong value. Confirm if your entry is test or not. Continue. To ask you, do you want to continue? If the person then click yes, which means the person intentionally imputes the error. So that's just the whole essence of that. If I say no, that's it. I can close here. It's not going to enter. Let me try to input that and say So it will come up. But there's something I notice now, that if I use that test, if I use that test, there's something you have to do first. Because if you write number here, number will stay, but it will give you an error information. The reason why it gave me an error information here is because I uh, I formatted that table, that column. I don't know if I taught us about formatting of column. I don't know if I mentioned in this class how to format a column. In this number format, in this area, when you click on